This is what happens when Trump is perceived as the anti-war candidate, because you have our good friends at Code Pink walking the halls of D.C. saying, so now Israel's in Lebanon. What the hell's this going to be now? When is it going to stop? No, it's only going to get worse. So let's see what.
I'm starting to question the point of them harassing those because they don't care.
Uncle Fetterman.
Oh,
Uncle Fetterman.
This guy's disgusting.
How do you feel about what's happening in Lebanon? The bombing of Beirut. 500 people at least killed in one day.
These people are so unaccountable. Like, they really feel like they don't have to answer to their people.
Do you have any comment on that?
He just ignores him. But they all do. So like,
weird, dude.
Why? What's weird? I just want to know. What's your opinion?
You're a United States Senator.
Well, but this is what
No one, he's never off the clock.
When you're not at work, you're the worst.
Hey, I voted for this guy. Yeah, well, I won't again, of course. How about all the deaths in Gaza? How do you feel about that?
he loves
Some
that.
are comparing you to Idi Amin and Pol Pot. What do you think? How many Arab lives is enough for you?
Did they just walk away? Like, why do they keep
A million?
talking about fun? Why did they do that?
2 million?
They just keep saying it. I guess for us to watch their faces.
Okay, weirdo.
You're the weirdo. You support genocide.
Go Hamas.
There you go. I'm glad to know how you feel.
Is that your last one? What's that? Okay.
How many Arab kids is enough for you, Senator Fetterman? No, I just want to know. Your constituents want to know. What's your red line?
This is devastating. Oh my God, you're just a bad man.
He looks like he's going to collapse.
And you
First
know
of
what?
all,
You know what?
eventually it's going to get to him. And the reason it does get to them is because they get tired of having to face it. It's like looking in a mirror.
But yet it doesn't change anything. I mean, when I see Medea and the Code Pink ladies going at them, like, yes, of course it pleases me that they're like corralling them and making them uncomfortable. But the truth is it really doesn't make them that uncomfortable and they really don't care. And it doesn't seem to be affecting any of their votes. Like, nobody seems to care that much.
Well, let's see what Medea and Code Pink had to do.
It's the same thing.
Bombing Lebanon.
I think it's fabulous.
There were about
We talked about this before.
No, this is now Lebanon. This is a wider regional war. You know, there were about 500 people killed yesterday. Do you understand that the blowing up of the pagers and walkie-talkies is terrorism? Would you qualify it as terrorism? That's what former CIA director said, that it was terrorism.
Maybe I'm a little bit of a stickler here because I'm in commercial real estate, but notice how they never actually properly wear their jackets. They always wear them wide open instead of buttoning the top button. But you see, he's got such a fat gut that he can't do it. That's part of the problem. I'm sorry, it's just what it is.
Yeah, but
Hey, that chin's hanging pretty low. I have no problem
so is mine.
I have no problem going after the physical outward appearances of war criminals.
It's
Because
just
that's what they all are.
Yeah, but that's seriously at this point, with the exception of Rashida Tlaib, to me, everybody
It's
in
okay
Congress
for
is
Israel to be killing 500 people in one day in Lebanon. You don't think that will blow back? When are you going to stop supporting Israel's genocide?
I will never stop supporting the state of Israel.
So they're killing people too. It's okay in your book.
How do you live with yourself?
Very easily, because
Very well.
he's getting his checks from AIPAC and they know not to put anybody running up against him. But if he ever changed his tune, well, now that would change everything.
Whenever I hear people say that, how do you live with yourself? It reminds me of this movie, 2 Weeks Notice, with Sandra Bullock and Hugh Grant. And the mother says to him, because he's like this complete oligarch, like, how do you live with yourself? Or how do you sleep with yourself? And he's like, oh, because I have this really good sound machine that's very high tech. Like, he goes into this whole thing about his luxury lifestyle and how he sleeps. So that's how they sleep. They don't care. They don't care.
Well, you also have to remember something, Jay. It's not that he was so happy to say it. It's a firm statement to say, I will always support the state of Israel. Okay, Israel lobby? Don't ever worry about me.
Right.
I'm on board.
He has to make sure to get his donations for his next campaign cycle.
It's the donations, and to make sure no donations are coming against him. That's what it is. And the way they see it is, all right, so I have to tell them that I love Israel and I think they're fantastic. Is that enough? Is that going to do it for you?
But I'm getting to the point where, like, at some point, like, the demonstrations and the haranguing them, we need a different kind of strategy, I think. I'm not exactly sure. And I do not think these people should get a moment of peace.
Well, that's really what it comes down
Not
to.
a moment of peace. But if you notice what she's doing, and I do appreciate Medea for everything she does, but they're generally going at them at their workplace. Generally, it's at their workplace. It's while they're in their work, transferring one business. They're always in there. I think that these people need to be harassed, not in their workplace. I think that they need to be harassed every time they're in public, period. Doing it in their workplace to me seems less productive. I don't know. I think they need to be harassed in public.
Yeah, but that lends credence to the problem that we face down here. See, Wasserman Schultz rarely, if ever, goes out in public. She'll do it in Weston because Weston is a very upper middle class planned community, and you don't really get a lot of activity there. But generally speaking, she doesn't go out to public events unless
that's true. A lot of them don't.
Control.
A lot of them don't. There are people that you won't, but they do to some extent. They're somewhere sometime.
And Debbie, as we pointed out, lives in an exclusive gated community. And so by that measure, it's like, well, you can't actually go to her house.
No.
Because she's protected.
But a lot of them you can. Like, I honestly.
Anthony Blinken. You go right up to Anthony Blinken's house in Northwest DC.
They have an encampment set up out there. And that should be, I have in the past felt bad for some of his neighbors, but
yeah, well, the neighbors feel bad for
a little bit, but